Welcome to Wagyu with Love, the podcast, the show where we talk all things dogs. I'm your host, Christina Crowley. Thank you for listening today. I'll be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode, or you can join the Wagyu with Love community on Facebook or follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Go to the wagwoooflove.com website, and that's where you'll find notes on today's show. So today I want to talk about you decided you want to adopt, how to decide if I want a puppy or an adult dog. Many decisions need to be made that supports adopting the best dog into your family. Puppies, they're awesome. I love them, but they're a lot of work. And there's a lot of things that may be unpredictable about a puppy. First, size. When you're adopting a dog, that little puppy may grow up into being part Irish Wolfhound and being a huge dog. I know because that is my experience in adopting from a puppy rescue. She looked like a terrier. She was really part Irish Wolfhound and bearded collie mix and grew up to be huge. And also, getting a puppy, you don't know what their health is. Certain types of dogs may be susceptible to certain types of health issues. You don't always know that when they are a puppy. And you also have to know that puppies, they really are juvenile dogs. As wonderful as they grow fast. And after birth, their first year, year and a half, can be considered similar to a human's from birth through adulthood, or about 18 years old. There's a lot of adjustments, there's a lot of growing. Their personality is forming. There's a lot of adjustments in that first year, year and a half for the new pet parents and the puppy. And if you're a brand new pet parent, that will start with Fido missing their pack when they're first removed from mom. There can be whining, howling, barking, and also having the puppy consistently underfoot. It may be trying, but keeping in mind that your new puppy has just been separated from the safety and security of everything they've ever known. They're nervous after leaving mom, and that is perfectly natural. And so you may need to consider whether do you need someone like a walker to come by or a family member during the day for the puppy because they need potty breaks. They may need food because they're growing. They may need to swap of toys if you're gone all day until they can be alone for those long periods of time. I've also adopted adult dogs, and you might want an adult dog to have midday visits too. That is one thing that adjustment of having somebody come over, let them out while they're adjusting to their new home can be helpful. You know, adult and senior dogs, they are already emotionally mature. Adult and senior dogs are great for first time dog parents because they don't need as much training, or they may already be trained. And with a senior dog or an adult dog, you may know what you're getting with size and with temperament because that will already be developed. One thing to keep in mind is that adult and senior dogs will love you as much as a puppy. I think the biggest thing to keep in mind is what do you want and understand the amount of work of a puppy versus an adult. There is work with both, but they're just a little bit different. No, I've adopted from people who've had litters of puppies. I've adopted from rescues. I've also adopted adult dogs into the family. Both avenues have their own bumps in the road. And if you've decided it's time to adopt, whether it be adopting a young or an adult dog, you've decided on what's right for you. And that is exciting. And there's not much like the excitement of adding a pet to your family. When you think you've found the place and you're moving forward to adopt, most will likely have some questions for you before they will let you adopt from them, and that's standard. And also, there are some questions to ask of them to make sure that the dog you may adopt is a good fit for where they are in their life. Now, a few good ones are, and I'll put these on the website so that you can go and look at these questions again because you'll want to know how did the dog come to be in the shelter or the foster home that you're adopting it from. If it's an adult dog, maybe what happened? Did their owner die? Did something happen where the owner couldn't take care of them anymore? Why were they surrendered? Puppies, it just may be that the litter was too much and it's time for them to be adopted. If it's an adult or a senior dog, what were those reasons? It's good to know, and they will tell you. You'll want to know, where do they sleep at night? Are they crate trained or do they have a dog bed? Are they potty trained? Now, puppies probably aren't going to be potty trained. Senior and adult dogs should be potty trained, but if they're not, you'll know so that you'll be able to work on getting them properly potty trained. Have they been to a groomer before? And if they have been to the groomer before, how did it go? Did they like it? Did they hate it? Will allow you to trim their nails, clean their ears, or even give them a bath if you're not going to take them to a groomer. Those are important things in a pet's health that is good to know so that you know how to approach what your choices are going to be with them. How long have they been left alone if they're an adult dog or a senior dog? Can they handle 4, 6, 8 hours while you're away at work? That's important to know. And has the dog had a general wellness exam by a vet? When did they have that? Do they have any known medical issues? And most importantly, have they had their first vaccinations? That is a good thing to know before bringing puppy home. Even before you bring Fido home, it's good to be in touch with your vet to know how long it will take to get in for their first wellness check. I believe in making a wellness check with your vet first thing after adopting any pet. They can check if your dog has any health issues. I know personally that it's painful to lose a dog after adoption to health issues that may have been able to have been handled before you brought them home, to get them vaccinated so that they don't get certain types of illnesses that can kill them. You fall in love with them, and for them to have a fatal illness and to lose them, it is painful. I do know through that personal experience. And there's times when you do everything right. You know what kind of a dog you want. You've researched where you're going to adopt the dog from. You do the best that you can. You get there. And like my Millie's story, we did some research on finding a puppy. We knew it was time to add another puppy into our pack. And we researched the kind of a dog we wanted. We wanted a golden mix, a golden mutt, that kind of a dog. We found somebody who had a litter. We knew it was a private residence. We couldn't find anything bad online about them. They had some good references. So we thought it was a good place to go and pick her up and pick her out, which we did. We went there and it all looked good. It seemed clean. You never know what they're putting on when they know people are coming. So we did the best we could. And we were talking with a gentleman who had raised the mom and the dad. And he told us how he fed the puppies. And there were 10 puppies. It was a huge litter. He said he got 5 bowls of food and he put them on the ground and he just let them go at it. And then, after he said that, immediately this little teeny tiny runt of the litter came towards us. She was a little malnourished. And that was the time when we knew we had to take her home. That was our Millie. We were saving her. It wasn't the best situation for her to have come from, but everything else was okay. All the other questions we asked were okay. And we decided to save the runt of the litter that day. And she's a wonderful, wonderful dog. And yes, as puppies, she was a lot of work, as puppies are, but that was our choice. And that was our experience in adopting Millie. All right, now, if you have any questions for me, please go to wagwooflove.com, fill out the form, and send in your question to us. We might be able to answer any questions you have on a future episode. For the love of all dogs, bye bye.